Hello everyone, surprise, stopped in to do some, have a look at some cards. Yes, so I don't know who's going to show up because it is in the middle of the day and, I don't know. I've got Instagram going as well, so I'll wait for Instagram. I'm live on Instagram now. Hello Instagram, hi, stopped in to share the Tower card with you. I thought I've got a little bit of time this afternoon, and I was really sick last week, so I haven't been posting and stuff. So I'm better. I'm better now. Hello, everyone. Hello. Whoever's joined, please say hello. So I've jumped in today because I wanted to share the Tower card with you because I think it's one of the most, it gets a bit of a bad rap. It gets a bit of a bad rap in the tarot. People get a bit scared of the Tower card. So I thought I would talk around. Hello, Miranda. Good to see you. I'll talk a bit about the Tower card for you as well. Hi, Nicole. Good to see you. So glad you're here. Yes, I don't expect many people on Instagram because I've got two screens going again. So I'm going to get a bit confused. There's going to be a bit of confusion going on. I'll be fine though. I'm a bit tired today. It's all right. Anyway, okay. So, all right. Well, first things first, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping. So you will know that I've only got 2 seats left for my tarot training and mentoring, which is hello, Alex. Good to see you. I've only got a couple of seats left. So yes, I'm going to pop that in. This will be the last tarot training for this year, and then I'll just put the link in. I was unorganized because I did this sort of on the fly. All on the fly. Yes, let me pop that in. So the link is there. There we go. Yes, so it's a 7-month tarot mentoring program. It's specifically for those people who want to upgrade their tarot practice, moving from novice to developing an expertise, and in the context of tarot therapy and counselling and tarot psychology. So moving away from fortune telling into a much more professional and ethical space where you are holding space, doing counselling 101, incorporating psychotherapeutic techniques, as well as you'll be learning about Jungian psychology, narrative therapy. It's jam-packed. And then plus, of course, you're going to learn about all the myths in the Mythic Tarot and their psychological meanings. And yes, there are a lot of myths to learn, which is why it's a 7-month program, because we need to take our time and move through the cards at a good pace, but not, we can't rush this. So I've actually added on an extra month. So I've kept it at the same price, but added on an extra month. So I think my program usually goes for longer than the 7 months. Anyway, so hello, Kath. Good to see you. So I want to talk about, the card I wanted to talk about today was the Tower card, or is the Tower card, which, hello, Angela. Good to see you. I don't know who Atomic Passive Income is, but I think that's income. Nice to see you, and thanks for joining me on Instagram. So we're going to talk about the Tower card today. It's probably one of the most impressive, I think, powerful cards of the Mythic Tarot. I'll tell you a bit about the story and who he is. So traditionally, the Tower card is associated with Uranus, which is Father Sky. But in the Mythic Tarot, they've used Poseidon as a representation of this card, and there's a reason behind that, because I'll tell you the story soon about that. So yes, in astrology, it's associated with Uranus, which the planet Uranus is about unexpected events, lightning strikes, God plays his hand, the rug gets pulled out from underneath you. It's sort of out of your hands. It's the breaking down of man-made structures or psychological structures, the outgrowth where you have psychologically outgrown the situation that you're in, and it cannot be sustained anymore. You can't keep up the facade anymore. So it's got that kind of vibe to it. So let me tell you the story, though, first of all, of this card, the story behind it, the mythology behind this card, is that there was a king called King Minos who was the ruler of Crete, or he wanted to be the ruler of Crete, and he had other brothers that were all vying for the seat, for the throne. And so he went to Poseidon, the god here, Poseidon, the god in the card here, and said to him, I want to rule Crete. Let's make a deal. And Poseidon offered if he would slaughter this white bull, sacrifice this white bull to him, that he would then ensure that King Minos would have his throne. But what he gave King Minos was this magical white bull, and he said to him, "The people are going to think you're absolutely amazing because of this bull, but you are to sacrifice it to me." So King Minos agreed to do that, so that he could win the seat. But in the end, he didn't do that. He decided to keep that white bull and swap it out for a fake white bull, not the magical one, a pretend one. So yes, it wasn't the actual bull. And you could not fool Poseidon. He wasn't fooled by this. So he was raging. He was really angry. He called in Aphrodite. Here we have the goddess of love and beauty and Venus, and called in Aphrodite and asked for her help to resolve this situation. And so what Aphrodite did is she afflicted King Minos's wife, Queen Pacifique, she's known as Pacifique, with this affection, this obsession, this affection for the bull. She fell in love with the white bull and didn't want King Minos anymore. She wanted the bull. So she had this passionate love affair with the bull. In the story, what ended up happening is she asked this master craftsman, his name was Daedalus, to build this wooden bull for her so she could crawl inside of the bull and have the bull make love to her. So Daedalus, he did that. He created this bull, and this wooden bull, and she crawled inside of it, and they had this, she conceived this beast. And this beast was half human, half beast. It was known as a minotaur. And King Minos was incredibly shameful about this situation. So what he did is he built this tower, and it was a labyrinth. He built this labyrinth, and he put the bull, he put the minotaur, this half beast, half human, inside of this tower. And they used to take young people, virgins from Athens, males and females, and would lead them into the labyrinth, and they couldn't find their way out, and they would be eaten by this bull. So they were feeding this secret. So this shameful secret was hidden in this tower. So King Poseidon was so upset about what he did that he then was raging, and Poseidon was known as a very angry god. And he broke down this tower. He destroyed this tower, and the tower fell. Long story short, there's a lot more to the story, but it'll take up too much time. Long story short, the tower falls. Like, he creates this earthquake, and he creates tidal waves, and the tower falls, and everybody, including like King Minos and the Minotaur, are crushed. They die in one story. There's a few versions of the myth, so that they die and the tower falls. And so I often refer to this tower as the tower of bullshit, the tower of lies, the tower of hidden secrets, the tower of the facades, the masks that we wear to portray a certain image, the masks that people wear in social media, the reels that they do to pretend to be all together, to pretend to know what they're talking about, to pretend to be an expert. This is the card of the facades, the masks, the titles that people wear to position themselves as somebody with knowledge or expertise, but it's not really who they are. So it's like the tower card is the persona or the identities that we perform, that we produce, we enact, that aren't really true to who we are. They're just an enactment. They're just an act. They're just an act. It's an egoic act that we all perform. We all have identities. We all enact these identities, but sometimes we outgrow them. So this is the card of outgrowing these personas, these psychological, because they're psychological, these identities. We start to outgrow them, and we can no longer sustain the mask. It doesn't fit anymore. We can no longer sustain relationships based on this enactment, this way of being. We can no longer sustain the act for the demand of the audience. This is like, sometimes I think of this card as the dissolving of lives that are now out of alignment with who you are. But there's something more powerful about this card, because it's the lightning strikes. You can see lightning. I'll show you in this. You can see the lightning in this card, right? It's God playing his hand, or source, or something greater than yourself, disrupting, shaking up, pulling the ground from underneath you, pulling the carpet out from underneath you. You know, where you have to learn to free fall in this groundlessness. This is the curveball that life throws at you, that you are not prepared for, that you have to learn to manage as well. You have to learn to deal with. With this card, we learn that we cannot control every single detail of life. You just can't, as much as we want to. There is this mysterious nature to life where things are somewhat uncontrollable, that we can't control the decisions that people make. We can't control what other choices that other people are doing, actions that other people are making, that can personally impact on us. So sometimes you're not the one that's telling the lies. Sometimes it's somebody outside of you that's telling the lies. And then you discover that you've been betrayed. You discover the truth. You discover that things are was not as it seemed. And it can be a shock. It can be a shock to your system. Think of those partners that may have betrayed you, that may have been having an affair, and the shock, you didn't know, and then you find out, or you find out your partner's been taking drugs or has been using, illicit substances, but any substance, and you didn't know about it. Or potentially your partner has a gambling addiction and you didn't know about that either, and all of a sudden you find out. So sometimes it's not about you that's lying, or that's being deceitful, or that's not being completely honest. Sometimes it's you find out somebody's hidden from you, and it can be a shock. So this card it does have that feeling about it. It is a bit of a shock when the Tower card comes up. So people do. So when you hear about it, like in memes and stuff, they're like, "Oh fuck, the Tower card, and what's going to go down?" So here's the thing with the Tower card. What comes after that? What comes after that is what I call the naked truth, where you can actually build an honest, authentic life. It's like the power of breaking down the conditions or conditioning beliefs, false beliefs that you've had about yourself that have kept you trapped in a life that's out of alignment with who you are. It's the breaking down of that. And what's left, once that's broken down, what's left is the naked truth. The next card after this card is in the Mythic Tarot is the Star, which is represented by Pandora. And she's naked. She's naked and she's lost everything. So this is the card of, it is definitely like, it is about outgrowing situations that are no longer in alignment with who you are. And in that outgrowth, there's disruption and there's a dissolving. And it's like, how long can you put up? How long can you pretend? How long can you be diplomatic for? Like, how long are you going to put on the smile, the happy smile, and say, yeah, everything's okay? How long can you stand that for? How long can you pretend for? So sometimes this card will come up too when we've been wearing, like, let's say in business, for example, you might have given yourself a title, and that title is now starting to limit what you do. Maybe it's limiting. It's not true to the work that you do. And no, sorry, Linda, I'm talking about the tarot card. It's not a free reading day. Sorry about, well, this is the free reading. This is the free reading. It's the Tower card. But if you'd like to book in for a reading, jump on my website and you're welcome to book in for a session there. So yes, so this card is definitely, I would say, one of the most confronting cards of the Mythic Tarot, but one of the most life-changing cards. So if you think of this, I want you to think now, contemplate now on the times in your life when life has thrown you curveballs, where we might say God has played his hand, or it, source has played its hand, where things have happened that are out of your control, like the loss of a loved one, the death of a loved one that's happened. You can't control that. It's out of your hands. Or it could be COVID, for example, when COVID hit and people were losing their jobs, people were losing money, people, were losing their careers. They were on Centrelink support. They'd gone from having a thriving career to nothing, to everything falling apart. So it is about that, but there's always a greater meaning behind this. When the Tower card comes up, yes, when you have an entire weekend Tower card moment. Are you okay, Deanna? What happened? Message me. Yes, it can be. Yes. So the message with this card is that it's purposeful. When everything breaks down and everything falls away, where you feel like your life has fallen apart and dissolved, it's because you're being called to rebuild in alignment with the truth of who you are. What you were living before was not in alignment. It was not true to you. Had outgrown that. So you can resist it and you can stay in the rubble and, wallow in the pity of it, because, we've all been there. I've done that. We all need a bit of time to be a victim. I get that. We all need that sort of crying and feeling sorry for ourselves. And then at some point we have to rise out of the ashes like a phoenix, right? Yes, we do all need a tower every now and then. We do. And sometimes we put things off. We keep putting them off because we're avoiding, in denial. We build these defenses around us to avoid the truth, because we don't want to face the conflict that might ensue after having your tower moment, after saying the thing, doing the thing, saying what needs to be said, calling the relationship off, or handing in your notice at work. Sometimes we're scared of what will come after doing that, what it might call from you. So this is the card too, that if you're staying stuck, if you're choosing to stay stuck, life will have its way in the end. Life will, if you're deliberately damming up the flow. We all do it every now and then. I'm sort of giggling because, none of us are perfect. We all avoid. We all do it. But eventually life will have its way. Eventually life, if karma, will evolve our situation at some point. And I guess this card is karma playing out, karma in evolution. So if you think of karma as love, it's not bad. It's not negative. Karma isn't supposed to harm us. It's here to help us and to evolve us. And love will have its way in the end. It will have its way, and it's for our highest good. You might not feel like that at the time when the Tower card comes up. Probably won't. But there is usually a really great outcome, after, on the other side of it, right? We've all had this moment. It is a rebellious card. It is the divine rebellion. This card, it represents that divine rebellion where you can no longer fit into that box anymore. It's like you're trying to, you're trying to color in the lines, but you just can't do it anymore. You need to expand, you need to stretch, you need to grow. And it is you rebelling against the restrictions that you've been under. And sorry, Raylene, I'm not giving free readings today, but if you'd like a reading, you're most welcome to book in. If you jump in my website, you can book in for a reading there. You're most welcome to book in for a reading. It's worth it. It's worth it. So yes, so this card, it is about you breaking free from those restrictions, the restrictions that we put ourselves under. Sometimes these are psychological restrictions, the things that we say that we can't do. That we make up these stories, these beliefs, we have these scripts that are just not the truth. They're conditioned responses, or they're conditioned the way we've programmed our mind. And so with this card, we're learning how to drop some of those, or reprogram our mind to remove some of these scripts so that we can become more of who we are. So it's a really powerful card. Uranus is a really powerful planet. I did romanticize it the other day. It's not all romantic. We know that, when the Tower card, now when the Tower card comes out, it is a really destructive, chaotic force, but it's for everyone's highest good. And if we think of it like the divine rebellion, this is you in your divine rebellion, where you can no longer sustain the bullshit. You can no longer sustain the restrictions. that you have to break free from that. You've got to find a way out. And sometimes the way out is breaking down relationships, jobs, occupations, businesses, burning down maybe, you know, things that you had created in your business that are holding you back, titles, burning it away. It's lightning strikes. Yeah, so it is a pretty intense card. So usually with this card, it does sort of incur some kind of loss, like it is a letting go. And sometimes I speak of it, as I said, like a free fall. We're free falling. We have to learn to be groundless. We have to learn to be in this groundless space, to let go of this white knuckling, holding on. I was doing this in the other group, like this white knuckling, let go, to let go. Let go and just free fall and let things, you know, it's like throwing the cards up in the air and fall as they do, let them fall as they may, however, and to trust that it is right action. Because when you're in it, when you're in the free fall, it feels fucking scary. It does. When you're in the in the middle of the, because it's such a transformation card. When you're in the transformation, it's chaotic, it's destructive, it's scary, it feels scary. It does feel scary. But after everything has fallen, then you can build on, you know, build from a much more authentic space. So, yes, the Tower card, hey? It's an intense card. In the story, poor old Pacifique was afflicted with that horrible bestiality, hey, for the bull. So not very nice, is it? Not very nice at all. So that's a little introduction to what you're likely to receive in my tarot program. I'm going to talk more about that card, go more in depth about that card. We'll look more deeply at the astrological association and look at therapeutic techniques that we can use to help people as they move through that chaos, through the difficulties, the challenges, the curveballs of life, and, you know, to hold space for them to develop the inner resources to manage that. And you'll learn techniques that you can share with your clients in my program. So you're not just reading the tarot card and saying to people, good luck. You know, you're holding space for them to be able to process that in a really profound and helpful way. So when they walk away from your session, they have something to work with. They know their next step, and they have a resource or a tool that they can use straight away to manage that situation as it arises. Because the Tower card is the curveball, the unexpected, the unexpected. Yes. Okay. I'm going to put a link in the comments section. I've only got 2 seats left. 2 seats left for my program. It's the last one for this year. I won't be running it again until sometime next year. I never know when the date is. I get a prompt from Spirit. Legit. I get a prompt from Spirit, and then I know when it's running. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Tower card. It's such a fabulous card. And, you know, it's an amazing card. You gain so much from the breakdown of conditioned responses and psychological conditioning. It is the breaking free of that, so you can become more of who you are. It's a very profound card. Okay, that's it from me, everyone. The link is there for my program. I would love you to join. If you've got any questions about it, don't hesitate to message me. Sending you so much love. Have an amazing day. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Take care, everyone. See you.